Electress and later Queen of Hanover and Queen of America when the United States was ruled by England. On her wedding day, Charlotte spoke no English. However, she quickly learned English, albeit speaking with a strong German accent. Queen Charlotte was a direct descendant of Margarita de Castro e Souza, a black branch of the Portuguese royal house. Several de Souzas traveled to the Netherlands when their cousin, the Princess Isabella, went there to marry the Grand Duke, Philip the Good of Burgundy, in 1429. Charlotte was a patron of the arts and an amateur botanist.
Hello and welcome to Cognitions, Speaking the Unspeakable with JP
and Stacy D.
I am JP Craddock, and that is the one and only Stacy D. Love, my girl. We are broadcasting here on KUAW Radio, which stands for Knowledge, Understanding, and
Wisdom.
Yes. Coming up on the show today, we have our question of the day, which is, I have a strained relationship with my adult children and haven't spoken to them in months. I've recently been diagnosed with cancer and must start treatments. Should I tell them or just keep it to myself? So we're going to get to the question of the day right after our check-ins and a little bit of mental health and illness in the news while the D is eating candy. All right, Stacy D, can I do my check-in first? Because it might take a little bit of time. All right.
I always do.
I received, it's not true. I received an email from a grandmother. I'm going to read a part of it because I want us to kind of discuss it. This grandmother, her grandchildren are in the foster care system. They were removed from her daughter. And so the caseworker sent her this email. And it states, part of it, that the granddaughter has been struggling behaviorally after visits. This is extremely typical with youth in foster care. I do not want you to take this as me saying you are doing anything wrong. When kids see family members or parents, this is very common, and it is usually because that person or people are still connected to trauma that they have gone through, even if that person was not one to subject any abuse or neglect. I am talking with her therapist about this, on how to best support her, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so the grandmother, I can't see anything. The grandmother sent me this email because, of course, she took it as, so I'm triggering my granddaughter, and my granddaughter is having behavior problems after the visit. Here is the problem.
Hold on, Mike.
Now, here is the problem with this. Before I respond to this, let me first say, I am specialized training in PTSD, not in one or two, but 3 evidence-based psychotherapies for PTSD. So,
hold on one moment. Mr. Walker, can we have our disclaimer that the views what's the view? What is that? That the views
I'm about to tear
opinions
into
and statements expressed on this show
but I
are not
need
the
to
thoughts,
first make
opinions,
that
and statements
clear.
of
Okay?
KUAW,
Prolonged exposure
LPFM,
therapy,
98.5.
cognitive processing
The
therapy, and eye movement desensitization reprocessing therapy. I'm trained in all of those, and I got 20 years experience. So for those who disagree with what I'm about to say,
we don't care.
if you are not equally as trained and experienced, you might want to shut up and keep it moving.
Because we don't care. Because what are we doing?
We speak the unspeakable. There you go. Now, let's talk about PTSD for a minute. I love Tootsies.
We know you're going to Tootsie Roll diets.
We need to talk about that.
And I'm actually on a diet right now.
We need to talk.
15-day challenge
on the show. Okay, we're not gonna get into that right now. The Tootsie Roll diet. Let's talk about PTSD for just a minute. When a child experiences trauma, the trauma is absorbed by all of their senses, and so there will be multiple triggers connected to the traumatic event. Okay, auditory, visual, olfactory, which is smell, gustatory, which is taste, anything going on. So let me give you all an example of how this can play itself out. Let's imagine I'm a little kid. I'm 7 years old. I'm in the kitchen. Let's imagine that my mother is frying liver and onions in a skillet.
No, can we do chicken? I don't like liver and onions.
I'm doing only things that I don't like because these are trauma triggers. Liver and onions, which I hate. And so,
I do too.
you know, my mother, she's frying liver and onions. She's listening to Elton John on the Alexa.
Hold on. First of all, when you were 7, there was no Alexa.
Hold on.
She had some vinyl.
Okay, hold on. My mother's in the kitchen listening to a 45, an album of Elton John. If in those moments she becomes abusive, let's say she, you know, throws some hot grease at me, the trauma triggers are going to not only be the fact that she threw hot grease at me, but everything that my senses take in is going to become a trigger for the trauma. So the smell of liver and onions from that day forward will trigger me and take me back to that dark place of being abused by my mother. When I hear Elton John, it is going to take me back to that dark place, okay? Anything I see, smell, any of that becomes trauma triggers. The problem with the email that this worker sent to this grandmother, which left the grandmother feeling like she's a trauma trigger, the problem with it is the grandmother would have to have been present during the traumatic events in order for her to be a trauma trigger. The grandmother was not present. First thing, this is a neglect case. This isn't even a physical or sexual abuse case. In this instance, the grandmother is most likely and was a refuge for the child.
And that's where she wants to be at, and she's mad.
Exactly. Because kids experience difficult behaviors following visits, not because the grandmother is a trauma trigger. What this is diagnostically, because we need to take a look at some other diagnoses here. We're talking about adjustment disorder with disturbance of emotions and conduct, superimposed over some separation anxiety. If the grandmother was a refuge from traumatic incidents experienced by the child when the child was with the mother, the child is having behavior problems after the visits because she doesn't want the visits to come to an end. She misses her grandmother. So for this worker, in all of her levels of incompetence, to send this grandmother an email basically saying that she's a trauma trigger, that's upsetting and it's incorrect.
It's incorrect.
And so she, you know, I explained this to the grandmother. In fact, I told
her. Are the visits supervised or unsupervised?
They're supervised.
How come grandma don't have custody?
I do not know why the grandmother does not have custody. She might be in the process of pursuing custody. And it's one, she's in Missouri and they're in Kansas.
So we have to get an interstate compact.
Yes, all of that. It's a long, ridiculous process. But
they can hurry up and do it if they wanted to, though.
They need to do that. Yeah. But it is a horrible thing when social service workers speak outside
and
of that
don't know
which
what they're
they are trained
about.
And know about. And telling a granny that she's
a granny.
Okay, so come on, people, know what you're talking about before you go sending emails to people that are upsetting.
And then she sent an email, so she just showed evidence.
Right. All right. So that's my check-in. Hopefully, we have addressed this thoroughly enough for all of those who are in this position, because this is actually really common. Kids always act up after visits with family members because they miss their family member and they want to go home. They want to go home.
Okay, so now I'm looking at the whole case manager. like
Because you know these fools.
the case manager could expedite this and get this done in a matter of 4 weeks.
Really?
Hell yeah. So I'm wondering,
Wow.
is these kids in one of her good foster homes? Because you got to understand, how many children is it?
It's 2 kids, and there's an adoption resource. And you know, once there is an adoption resource,
So this is the reason behind it.
yes, things have been very difficult for this grandmother. They are in a foster home with an adoption resource, and I don't know if I should.
Don't say it.
I'm not gonna say that.
I have to help him out, everybody.
I'm not gonna say.
Okay, these
What I
doggone
will-
Tootsie Rolls is really good, I think, because I haven't. I was rushing this morning. I had my protein. I had 2 protein shakes, but I was rushing. I had so many.
All I can say is when little African American children are in the foster care system, sometimes when there are adoption resources, it can impede things and make things difficult depending upon who the adoption resources are.
Exactly. That's why I said I went back to that.
All right. What's your check-in?
Life is wonderful.
Oh, that's it?
That's nothing else need to be said.
Okay. That's Dee's check-in that life is wonderful. Shall we get to mental health and illness in the
Sure.
Want to let your listeners know too that the chat is open, so anything that they post on Cognitions page will show on the screen.
All right. And
So they could hear you?
and Stacy D.
They hear you all the time when you're on your phone.
Either
So
way.
this right here was an effective time for them here.
Why is your see Stacy D
Okay, my mind. you
getting
know.
on Mr. Walker and her phone
My fault.
rang.
I
during the show.
apologize, everyone.
All right. Okay. Mental health and illness in the news. Let's start with, since we are on the topic of social services, and we just discussed a particular agency, that agency was involved in this next case also. I don't know if you all, our listeners, remember, there was a case where a child was abused and murdered by his parents and then fed to the hogs. And so when the social service workers showed up, they found the remains of his body in the pig pen, the hog pen. This is a horribly traumatic event. First thing I want to say is, as this has been covered in the news, what the news stories are saying is that the social workers, I want to make a clarification. Okay, there are social workers and then there are social service workers. There is a difference.
Exactly.
A social worker has a degree in social work and is a trained professional in social work. A social service worker can have a degree in anything.
They can have a high school diploma but get grandfathered in.
There you go. So I do want to correct that because the headlines are saying that these social workers have been cleared in the lawsuit that was brought by the family members, social service workers. Okay, so the appellate court upheld the ruling that these workers can't be held responsible, not, the judge made it clear, not because they weren't negligent, but because the law protects social service workers from being sued for how they perform their job duties. This is a case where this child, the family bounced back and forth between Kansas and Missouri. So Missouri Social Services was involved and the case had been hotlined multiple times in Missouri. It was also hotlined multiple times in Kansas. And for those of you who are not from this area, these are twin cities. And so like Stacy D and I, we're in Kansas City, Missouri right now. There's Kansas City, Kansas. The death actually took place in Kansas City, Kansas, but the family had also lived in Kansas City, Missouri. Here's the problem. The judge did a wonderful job of stating this is not a win. I don't want for these social service workers to think that this is a win. I'm just unable to do anything to hold them accountable for failing to remove this child. And so the family members that brought the lawsuit, their frustration is we hotlined this incident multiple times and they never removed this child. What they did was put intensive in-home services
Family
in place.
preservation.
Either Family Pres or Missouri has a different name for
Well,
it.
if they were in Kansas, it was Family Pres.
In Kansas, it would be Family Pres. And I think it's just called Intensive In-Home Services in Missouri. But that's not an intervention for abuse that is severe to the degree where there have been multiple hotlines.
So what we have to go to, who really was at fault for this, was the investigator.
Yes.
Because the investigator is the one that makes the referral. Literally, it's like one person, and they, because I used to work in this department,
Yes.
it's one person, go out and do an investigation, they come back, they do their recommendations, then they go to a team, and we sit down to team, and we try to look and see what is the best way, because our main focus is to keep the families together. That really, truly is our main focus. And family preservation is supposed to do at least 24 hours a week in a person's home. And that's a lot of time in someone's home, really.
That's enough
That's
time
the
to-
minimum. The minimum is 24 hours a week.
Right. That's enough time to notice that a child was being
Exactly.
starved to death.
If they're doing what they're supposed to do. If they're doing what they're supposed to do, and that's the problem.
Is it possible that they were not showing up?
That might be a possibility, too.
You have the problem with the hotline investigators who the lawsuit, I believe, is against the hotline investigators
It is.
as opposed to being against Family Press, because that would be a malpractice suit. And so I haven't heard anything about a malpractice suit. The focus has been on the hotline investigators. I'm thinking that the ball was dropped there. And here's how common the ball gets dropped there. I have hotlined so many cases. When Stacy D and I worked at the mental health center, I hotlined a case. I had a kid show up in my office with a boot print on his forehead, and I hotlined it, and he was not removed from the home. And so it's not uncommon. Now, part of the problem is there is a shortage of foster homes.
And workers do the investigation. So now when you call it in, it's really a person sitting up there that do not have a social work degree.
Exactly.
And they are the ones that's saying, oh, this one needs to get and be investigated.
Right.
Oh, this one doesn't need to be investigated.
Right. We screened it out. Unsubstantiated.
Yeah,
is
unsubstantiated.
what they put in the letters that they send you when they let you know we decided not to follow through on this case that you hotline. Now, yes, there is a shortage of foster homes.
Because they don't want to pay nobody. Oh, I'm just about workers. But
Well,
yeah,
the
foster care homes.
problem with the shortage of foster homes is because the foster care agencies treat the foster parents like crap,
I agree.
which is the exact reason why my wife and I stopped being foster parents. Now, I'm going to say not all of the foster care agencies are horrible in this manner, because there is one that we ended up fostering for, and they were wonderful, St. Francis.
I heard good things about them.
They are absolutely wonderful. You have one worker assigned to your
And they are a smaller agency, too.
They're small.
Which means they care, because they can't do nothing with
Right.
50 families. They just can't.
Right.
They're not greedy for money, so
And
it's from their heart.
Exactly. And I have encouraged foster parents to switch to agencies where they are treated better, as opposed to totally leaving the whole foster care system, because we do need to have more foster homes. This foster care agency, I remember when KVC had kids sleeping in the office.
I do too.
And I remember a foster parent who They had so many kids in her house. She had kids sleeping in the lazy boy recliner. She had kids sleeping on the floor. Like, they overflowed the foster home. But if you would treat your foster parents better, you wouldn't have that problem. You wouldn't have so many people leaving and not becoming foster parents or sticking with it. So,
well, this has been a problem for years, because I remember when I used to be the director over KUAW Valley's of their city homes. And that means the campus was full, the homes on the hills was full, and I was over 5 homes in the inner city, like literally in the inner city. That's when they were getting better, so they could come out the facility, and we were trying to get them back into the community, getting them ready to go into foster care, and I ran the show.
Gradual transition.
Exactly. And they would have me so full that they'd be on the couches. This is literally KUAW Valley inner city homes,
yes.
And they would be on the couches. I would be making pallets.
Yes.
It was bad. It's really bad.
Yeah. And the shortage really is due to how the foster parents are treated. All right, I have one last mental health and illness
Got
story
no more candy.
in the news. Okay, this is a good story. A Canadian study has shown that just 10 minutes with a dog can reduce your pain. They looked at 200 subjects who were, and this should be good for you, Stacy, because you've been in the process of buying a new dog for like a year.
Dream.
Yeah, that's the new name. Dream.
Yeah, I don't really fell in love with Dream.
Okay, here we go.
I like Athena too.
Okay, we have to come back to that, D, because we've been through this so many times with you and the dog. But this is good. You need to listen to this, because you having a dog can reduce your pain. And this, I'm gonna explain why this makes sense in just a bit. But 200 subjects who were ER patients, and they reported less pain than subjects who did not spend time with the dogs. Okay, now let me explain what this is about, because I'm also trained in pain management, and here is, but I don't have a lot of experience in it. It's
I'm in pain right now.
What's wrong, dude?
So everyone knows that I go to the gym every morning, at least 5 times a week. So, it's a spring break, and my son says that I don't really be working out at the gym. He says I'll be entertaining people. No, he was like, I have an audience.
I believe that.
He says
D's entertaining people in the gym. You're very entertaining, D.
Anyway.
You love to entertain. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So anyway, on Monday, was it Monday or Tuesday? My grandson called, because he's on spring break.
Okay.
Well, my son was like, "You gonna work out with me?" I'm like, you should came to the gym earlier. I'm gone, because my son comes in at the end of my workout. Literally, when I see him coming in, I'm like, get myself on. I'm about to go.
This is great.
Yeah, so he's like, "You gonna come work out with Mama?" Because he said I done got a little bit more pension. I'm not shaking.
You shaking the hell out of that camera.
Okay, so he says I'm pitching more than an inch, and he just really wants me to stay healthy and stuff. Yes. And I guess with me and all my
during this show,
it's not healthy.
A pile of Tootsie Roll wrappers. Okay,
I made all of them.
I'm a Tootsie Roll person.
I know, but they were tasting like really, really good. So I done like really messed up. I'm about to drink like a whole lot of water. Okay, anyway, so my grandson was
What's that gonna do with these Tootsie Rolls?
It like
water ain't flush it out of Tootsie?
It does.
Okay. Then I need to be drinking gallons of water.
You're at least supposed to be drinking a gallon anyway, JP.
Okay.
Okay, back to the subject. To this subject. So anyway, my grandson was like, "Honey, come work out with me," and I was like, "Dog."
Because she's honey to the grandbabies.
He know I wasn't gonna tell my grandson no.
They don't get to call her granny.
No, we don't do that. Way too hot to be a granny. And so we go to the gym. I didn't even want to go to this gym because it was a different gym.
Which gym?
It was like 8:00. It was the one there on Vivian.
Okay.
Don't
say the name.
Okay. Because they're not giving us no money.
Right. They got to pay us for us to say.
Pay us. And we go to the one on Vivian, and I don't like going to that one because I like doing the one on Berry Road. I'm like, it's going to be so many people there. I'm not going to be. When I go, I have my same old people there. It's like Same ones have been there forever.
You've been entertaining, like your son said.
No.
Yeah.
We be all working out together. So anyway, my son had me work out for 2 hours, and I'm still hurting.
Oh, you worked out for real?
Oh yeah, that's why I don't like being there with him, because he think he's the trainer, which he's pretty good.
Okay. Yes. So you in pain. That's good pain that you're in. This is chronic pain.
This is chronic too.
It's not chronic pain. You in pain for maybe a day or two.
No, it was Tuesday. Today is Thursday.
You're still in pain.
Yes, I'm still in pain. I worked out Wednesday.
You might have did a little too much, just a little.
Hell, I know he did me a whole lot too much. Mama, come on, do it, mama.
Because he's trying to make up for all the time he wasted entertaining everybody in the gym.
Then he was in there talking about, it's 3 generations. I got 3 generations up in here.
That is nice.
I was like, nah, because I'm your big sister, not your mama.
And that ain't your grandbaby. That's your...
My son.
Right. And you ain't granny. You're honey.
Honey.
Well, listen, D, this is about chronic pain, okay? And here's the thing to understand about chronic pain. Because when people are referred to therapy for chronic pain, they oftentimes show up upset because they're like, my doctor knows that my pain is real and something happened. I can't see anything. My doctor knows.
That's a pretty picture of me.
That was a good picture.
With my hair.
That's not what we're supposed to be looking at right now.
Okay, this is it. It's 2:34. We really have to hurry up because we always have our bonus round, and we haven't even did the QOD.
Okay, yes, but let me just explain this really quick to those who have chronic pain.
Oh, but we do got an extra couple of minutes today, don't we? Okay.
Yeah, chronic pain. Okay, when people are referred to therapy for chronic pain, it is not because your doctor thinks that you are being somatic or hypochondriac, which is a form of somatization. It's not that the doctor thinks that you're faking.
It's all in your mind.
The screen's gone.
But we still on.
It's not still in their mind, though. What happens is
Mr. Walker.
we have our... when we watch it later, watch and see.
See now, there he go.
Hold on. You giving
Go
me
with
ADHD. Can I explain this?
No, because JP is gonna erase the show again.
We'll delete this whole show. We can't delete this show. We got too much to cover.
Okay. Come on.
When you experience pain, like let's say the pain that you're having right now, let's say on a scale of 0 to 10, your pain is on an 8. People are referred to therapy because psychologically, you may be feeling pain on a 10. The actual pain is an 8. The other 2 points is being psychologically induced. How we think about pain, how we view pain, can exacerbate the pain. And so what I explain to patients when they come in is, no, the doctor knows on a scale of 0 to 10, you're at a 7. The problem is you're feeling a 10. We need to get you down to 7. And so there's therapy that can be done to help a person look at pain differently and experience it differently. These dogs, what this is about is the release of positive hormones like endorphins.
Your endorphins.
Yes. And so once you get your dog, see, if you had your dog right now,
I wouldn't be hurting.
Well,
not as much.
You wouldn't be hurting as much. You need your dog.
You need your dog. Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Or a horse. Horses are good too.
What about a good man?
As long as he stays good. If he stays good.
If he stays good,
then that should decrease your pain.
Should or give me some more pain.
So you basically saying a good man is like a good dog.
As a good. I didn't say that, JP.
Is that what I think? That's what you.
Okay, so anyway, the question I was going to ask was changing the subject.
Go ahead, cause
Changing the
A
subject.
good man was like a good dog.
Let's call Nadine. Nadine, is Gerald a good dog?
She probably like, he a dirty dog.
Not Harley. Not Harley. I'm not going to let you do that one. Okay, so what about when people say that they have phantom pain?
That's a part of what this is.
Exactly. Okay.
And
now it's correlating with me now.
Yeah, phantom
okay,
pain is psychological pain. And so even things like relaxation tapes, meditation, all of those sorts of things decrease that phantom pain.
Phantom pain.
So what you're left with is just your regular pain.
A dog and a horse. You know, in Greek, there is one.
What?
In Greek philosophy.
A dog and a horse?
I mean, no, the horse and the man.
Oh,
the horse and the yeah. Didn't we talk about it one time?
No.
Okay, let's stay on the subject.
Okay. So I've suggested a dog or a horse. Stacy D said you get you a man, but he need to be part dog and part horse.
No, part man and part horse.
Part man and part horse. Okay, a minotaur. Okay.
A minotaur.
It's the man side that might increase your pain, though, so be careful. All right, let's get to the question of the day.
And we also have a bonus round. Bing, 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 bing.
Okay, so we're doing the bonus round.
Most definitely.
Okay, because I was going to skip the bonus round.
No, we don't got to skip nothing.
All right, D. All right.
They not ready.
Okay, let's get our bonus segment, if you all recall, our listeners, is we have been doing this experiment with the dating app and determined that there can be success in dating apps because young people have been successful, and we're determined that everybody can find success using these dating apps. Okay. Question of the day.
Or a master matchmaker.
Okay. Question of the day.
Question
I
of the
have
day.
a strained relationship with my adult children and haven't spoken to them in months. I've recently been diagnosed with cancer and must start treatments. Should I tell them or just keep it to myself? You have no idea how common this is. I see this in therapy.
You know what? That's crazy. This is crazy.
Oh, this happened?
This is crazy.
What are your thoughts and advice for this person?
I hope this person is listening. First of all, those are your children. They most definitely supported you. Months without speaking to my children? Never. I didn't do that with my mother. My mother didn't do it with her mother. And I think that she's literally caught up in a generational curse. So if she doesn't try to get this right, this curse, she's going to see this curse destroy her family because her children's children are not going to go months and years without talking to them. I'm just not going to have that with none of my children. I mean, like, I have all four of them. Like, my baby girl, she lives there. She talks to me every day, all day long.
Which is sweet.
Like, she has my oldest son, I'm at least going to talk to him 3 or 4 times a week. And my baby boy, I done had to back because he had to cleave to his wife. And I understood that. So every Thursday he calls me at 9:45. Every Thursday he's going to call me. And used to come put my trash out, but he don't do that no more because it was too much of a problem in his house. But every Thursday at 9:45 he's going to call me. And we might only talk like 3 or 4 minutes, but yeah, he's going to call and check on me. So therefore, it will most definitely... and cancer is a terrible drug, and I really believe that cancer sometimes is set off and spread due to emotions and things of that nature. And me and my kids gonna walk this down all the way together. We're gonna be praying, and and I got 2 children that are just spiritual. But I bet you they will go to the spirits and try to find what's going on. Hey, excuse me, God, excuse me. My mama needs you. Yeah, so I just really can't even fathom a woman going this long without talking to her mama.
You think that she should reach out?
Hell
to
yeah. She's a day late. She's months late. How about that?
Months late. Okay.
Yes.
I see 2 sides to this. On the one hand, this could be an opportunity for their relationships to heal.
It's gonna be so traumatic for their kids too.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what caused this strain in the relationship. And so I'm trying to take that into consideration because I do know people who treat their parents horribly. I know a lady who has cancer and it's severe. She is taking the highest levels of chemotherapy. And when
she's too sick to even meet with me.
When she's having her moments of excruciating pain, her daughter looks at her and laughs in her face.
And that might be a way of her daughter trying to deal with it.
Possibly, or she's evil.
Well, I'm going to try to take the high road on that one.
When she asked her kids to help her, what she was told was, do it yourself. We're not helping you, by that same daughter. Okay. This is a sweet, sweet woman. This woman, there ain't a whole lot. I have not met a lot of people who are as sweet as this woman.
Me?
But D, you can be really sweet, D. You got that soft side to you. Okay. This woman, let me give a little bit of background though. She's a foster parent. She has adopted kids, and she took in the absolute most difficult kids. So that's some of the background. My point is, we don't never know what a person's relationship is with their kids, but reaching out to them could be an opportunity for these relationships to heal. That's one side of it. The other side of it is, I can understand if she feels like, okay, but now my kids are going to be nice to me and be kind to me because I might die. So how real is that? Because
I think it might be real. It might still be real when it soak into them. Like, sometimes you think, oh, my mom and my dad is never going to leave me. And then when it hits them, like, wow, because I think I got all the time in the world to repair that relationship. Mm-hmm. And then when it hits you, wow.
So it could still, what D is saying, is it could still be sincere. And this is something for her to think about. It could still be sincere, your kids coming to your aid and being there for you, because an illness like cancer can give them perspective that they have not had. So it's not, you shouldn't look at it as being, well, this is fake. They're only doing this because I'm dying. They have quite possibly gained perspective. So that is another way to look at it. Now, I have to go back to the other side though, okay? Because I'm looking at both sides. This actually was difficult for me for a whole other reason. Because I have a strained, I guess it could be called an estranged relationship from one of my kids. And so for this parent, my suggestion is reaching out to them and letting them know, because I think it would be horrible for, in the event that she does not win her battle with cancer, I think it would be horrible for those adult children to live the rest of their lives with the guilt of not being there for her. And so, to me,
she
that's
should at least give them that
reason.
option. She should at least give them that option.
Even if it's not for her, for them, for their sake, so that they don't live out the rest of their lives in guilt.
I agree.
Now, at the same time, I have to say, if it were me, I don't know that it would be that easy for me to do so. And here's the reason why. I am so real. I'm real to the day I die. And I would struggle, because the only reason I would probably reach out would be to spare my child from that guilt. That's the truth. because in my own situation, because my wife and I went through some hell with an adoption. It would be termed a failed adoption. I'm just not so sure that I would want. I'm not sure that I would want to reach out to him if I had cancer. No. This is the true nature of our relationship. It doesn't need to change because dad's dropping dead. It is what it is.
I guess we'll agree to disagree today.
Yeah, I know you're not going to agree with this.
I'm not going to agree.
But I agree with what you're saying for her. And it's also my suggestion to her that she reach out.
So as we see, that Gerald most definitely rules with an iron hammer and is not very forgiving. Let me get my Bible verses.
No, it's not.
Let me get my Bible verses out for him.
Hold on. Forgiving someone does not mean that you have to let them back into your world.
That's true.
Because if
That's
they have
true.
not changed, if they are who they are,
And they still are.
When you excuse them from your world, if they excuse themselves, letting them back in, I'm not so sure. That's not about forgiveness.
And forgiveness is for you.
Does not mean that you have to continue in a relationship with someone that is unhealthy.
I agree. Because forgiveness is for you.
I can forgive a fool and never talk to them again.
I can too. But they're not your child.
Mm-hmm.
And I just truly believe that children and parents get passes.
Now, here's the thing, though. You're speaking from your experiences with your children.
Oh, I done had some problems now. Don't get it twisted. It's just that I can't stay mad about my
look
child.
at the level and the gravity of problems that parents have had with their kids sometimes.
I have had those problems, and being a single mother, I have had those problems, and we were able to talk them over, especially, and most of the problems came when they got grown, and we were able to talk it over, and they'll come and apologize and full-heartedly mean it, and believe it or not, over time the relationship got better. We were able to communicate more effectively, and everything. You have to deal with the problems, and I can't write off my children.
Kids, if they are on their deathbed, their kids will not want to take care of them, will not want to help them. There's people out there who kill their parents
and cut them up and eat them.
So I'm just, I want our listeners to understand. I am looking at the full spectrum for this parent. Yes, my suggestion is she allowed the relationships an opportunity to heal and that whole thing. But I know that there are parents out there who have some extreme situations with their kids. I'm taking that into consideration. You have to do what is healthy for you. And just because you about to
comment on anything, Mr. Walker?
Just because you about to go on to glory, you have to make healthy decisions for you from now until you get to glory.
We have comments.
I can't see them. I don't have my glasses on.
No, we can't.
Stacy D, you had the surgery. You can't see them?
No, where are they?
Right there.
I believe that.
Oh, okay.
But you believe what? Empty username?
You should have been watching.
You missed the rest
Oh,
of
man.
the
They probably believe what I said.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Thank you. Empty username.
Mr. Walker, you should have read those comments.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start doing that.
Okay.
Are you going to erase this
The
show?
bonus segment. No.
Okay.
Let's get to the bonus segment.
Okay, let's get to
All right.
it.
The bonus segment that we have been doing, this whole dating app thing, Stacy D has over 250. I don't even know what the number's up to at this point. I stopped looking at it.
think Stacy D is hot. What y'all think?
The D has well over 250 suitors, male suitors, through this dating app. They all trying to get with the D. So
Everybody ain't able.
Stacy D, can you update us?
No, I'm gonna let you do it.
Okay. Okay, so
Hold on a minute, y'all. Hold on a minute. Hold
Out
on.
of your suiters.
You didn't delete. Okay,
still have
so let me tell you. So I want to
235.
keep
You're back up.
I want to keep everybody updated on what goes on. So everybody know that last week I went on a free
date.
meal. No, it was a free meal.
Oh, you called it a. She didn't like to call it a date. She called it a meeting.
Yeah, I got a free meal.
There is one correction though.
What?
Is they did say no. I believe what JP was saying.
Thank you to that listener, because I'm just keeping it real.
I do too.
No, I'm keeping it real till I die.
I do too. I'm just not. It's my
Those
heart.
out there, if I get cancer and you have treated me horribly, do not expect me to be like, ooh, let's hang out because I'm about to try to meet Jesus.
Okay, well, we on the bonus round now.
Go ahead, update us.
Okay, so I had to delete Texas Roadhouse, and
What is
I
that?
mean I had to. No, that's where I met him at. That's where we had dinner.
Oh,
Texas
I thought
Roadhouse.
that was a
No.
name you had gave the man. Okay.
So I didn't have to delete him. I had to block him because he was like calling me all the time and stuff. So then he got me on Facebook, and I don't even know how he did that because he didn't even know my last name. I didn't even never told him my last name. So now I had to go and block him on that.
These are the messages from the guys who you told me
Let's see what some of the messages are.
to respond that you like them, and especially this one, saying, okay, let's get rid of this. He's just saying hello.
His name is Ra.
How's your New Year starting off
So
far,
far.
etc. I didn't respond to any of these. Because
Okay.
you need to respond.
Here go Richard saying
Here's the other one that you
you were super like too.
was yes, because you told me, "Oh, super like him, and I did.
Oh, look at Oliver. Hello, Stacy. I like your profile, and I think you're very pretty. You know, I think I'll be discounting myself some.
You think so? You don't be discounting yourself. Dude.
Yes, I do.
You don't be discounting yourself. Dude.
Okay. What's
And
Aaron
then-
saying? Aaron was too young. Good morning,
What?
beautiful. Good morning, beautiful. I just adore your eyes. How was your weekend? Okay.
Okay, so these are some of the messages, but even after I deleted a lot of people, your number is back up. You're up to 235. And so all these are all your men.
All my
You got
men.
men on all eight. Look, what is he, 18?
They say
You got-
52.
You got men of, I think you was kind of checking him out a little bit too. Look,
Wait a
there's
minute.
Batman. I forgot to get rid of Batman.
Please get rid of Batman.
Yeah. Okay. And,
Look at James Bond.
and really, you
I
just
like-
get rid of the fools like this. You just get rid of them real quick. But it's
Now
gonna be
I
like
know
that.
Jim.
You do,
Yeah.
cause he real close to here. He can be up in this
I done
radio
seen him.
station
He,
in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know Jim. Okay.
do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, I know him.
Cause Jim is what you here. Let me here. We're gonna do this.
Okay, cool.
So Stacy D, here's the. Should I address the problem?
Gotta address the problem,
Okay.
JP, because he wants to address the problem. Let's
Stacy
let
D has
JP.
sabotaged this whole bonus segment. She's jacking up my whole dating app experiment because, and I accept some responsibility. I made the mistake. It wasn't a mistake. It was a good thing. I
was a
made the
good thing.
mistake of suggesting and doing a little matchmaking between the D
Master
and one of my
matchmaker.
frat brothers. I didn't know it was going to turn into a situation where the D no longer wants to do this bonus segment.
No, we can do the bonus
She's
segment.
jacking up our show.
No. Okay, let's have the frat brother call in. What time? Do we have time?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, we got like 8 minutes.
We got 1 minute.
No, we don't.
You got about 5
We have 5 minutes.
because you started late.
Because we
he
started
available?
late. Yes, he's a.
Call him.
Okay, hold on.
And so here we are supposed to be helping middle-aged adults
You did.
navigate the app. You didn't meet him through an app.
Bye. Are you available?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm available.
You on the radio?
Can he be heard?
He didn't call in to hear. You got to hold the speaker up there.
Oh,
He
okay,
needs
it's
to call
held in.
No, have him call in to the show.
What's the number?
816
816.
816 599 6893.
6893.
Yes.
Yes.
I got a fan because he be watching.
I'll call in.
Okay, now let me say this. This is one of my frat brothers this is a special frat brother because we're in the process of launching a podcast soon. Okay, so he
just going to be all on the radio all the time. JP, are you going to have time to work? Sasha about to act a fool, y'all. She about to act a fool. You might be the one getting divorced. She might be divorcing you.
It's just 2 shows.
Uh-oh, now we got to see can he get it on.
Okay. It's just 2 shows, okay?
Hello.
So this is a very special frat brother. We are in the process, as I said, of launching a new podcast called The Alpha Male Perspective. I didn't know it was gonna derail this radio show though. I'll say so. Go ahead, D. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You know it.
LV. Talk
Yeah,
to
you
LV.
got to ask. You got to ask him something.
What do I need to LV? Can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
Clearly. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear y'all.
LV. Why have y'all derailed
I
this
didn't know it was
series that
derailed.
I am doing on this show? Because the D is supposed to be dating 235 men. Well, we gonna weed out half of them.
Yeah,
There's
some of them gotta
there's
go.
Some strange birds on there. Okay, it's some freak shows on there. Okay, I'm weeding about while we're talking right now. Okay, what's
Okay.
going on? Are we continuing this segment, or do we need to shut this segment down because Stacy D and LV are doing something different?
I mean, we are friends. The friendship is blossoming, but I'm not going to stand in the way of her occupation. If this is what she's doing for her job, I don't see any problem. I don't have any
This ain't no job.
Okay, so LV is saying,
Well, let's
you
get some
really done put him on the
background.
spot
How
with
did I
this
put him on the spot?
by having us call him and ask him this. But
This
I
is
like his
practice.
answer.
This is practice for y'all radio show, for y'all podcast.
No. We control everything. We control every aspect of the podcast.
Oh, well, that's what we have. Speaking of Unspeakable with JP and
unlike
Stacy
radio
D.
show where we just wing it depending on what
All
Stacy
the
D's
time.
gonna come up with. All right, so LV is basically saying he's secure within himself.
That's that alpha male perspective.
That's just the alpha male in him. He is secure
That's how
within
my mama
himself.
raised me. I mean, I'm confident.
All right, now speak it now. So LV is saying that he's okay if you continue to go on these dates.
Because I'm going to be chaperoned anyway.
Oh, we gonna be in the cut, chilling. Me and Terry, like
Or you and Nadine.
recording dates, or me and Nadine recording dates.
Or hell, you and Mr. Walker.
Mr. Walker's like, I ain't got time to be going on these dates with you. And he's crazy. These men are not crazy. There's some good guys on here, okay? I'm I'm getting rid of some as we speak, though, because it's too many. You can't date 235 men. All right. So, LV, do you have any other thoughts on this? We're down to our last minute here. Do you have any other thoughts? Because I'm hearing you say, look, I'm secure within myself. Let the D handle radio show business. Am I right, LV?
Yeah, she needs to take care of her business. I'm secure. I don't feel the competition from the 200. So.
I know that's right. Talk that stuff to me.
I know that's right. That's an alpha male right there.
Yes.
An alpha male saying, I am not threatened by 235 men.
Not at all.
And he shouldn't be. He know what he bringing to the table. All right.
Exactly.
So, any other final comments on this before we wrap up the show?
It was a great show.
We covered a lot. That is our show for today. Thank you all for joining us. And remember, worry about nothing.
And pray about everything.
Thank you and God bless.
Bye-bye now.